I'm over here installing a shower pan and restoring my entire shower so I can do tile on the floor as well as on the walls. And I'm just going to go over a few things for you beginners who are clueless to what you have ahead. First of all, building a shower pan is pretty difficult. Level 1 to 10, I'd give it at least a 9 or 9.5. So if you're not up for the task, buy a pre-made tile, a pre-made shower pan that they do sell, and then you can tile it. So that is an option. Costs about $500 just for the pan. You'll probably have about $1,200 more into it than doing this, but it would save you a lot more trouble, and you know you wouldn't have leaks. That's the first thing. So you could avoid all this by paying more. Okay. Also, you put a slope on here. If you don't have a slope, water will sit. Just a slight slope is what I've done for every 12 inches. So it's just a slight slope, nothing crazy or major, you know. So see what you got going on right there. So all the water drains down over the curb. Also, you're not supposed to ever puncture your shower pan liner, but as long as you are going to use Red Guard, don't buy any other substitute products. You can get this at Home Depot. If you can't get it at your local hardware store, order it online. Don't buy the other crap. There's Menards sell this yellow stuff that's just garbage. Okay, anyways, we got our shower curb here. You see how I've got my screws set up about every 10 inches. I put 2 of them in there. Yeah, there's a shower pan liner under there, but I also took the extra step. I drilled out the holes, not on this, and then I knew where the holes were, and I flipped it over and I put clear silicone globs on there. So when I put this down, it globbed a glob of silicone right around it. Then I put my screw in. That's just a precaution. It's overkill, not necessary, but I did it. Once you use your Red Guard over here, and after I put thin set over this curb and butter it, I am gonna Red Guard this to about 6 or 7 inches all the way around the tarp. This is a membrane. This membrane will ensure that water does not get anywhere near here, okay? So that's why I put screws in over here. The number one thing you must remember, do not put your backer board or whatever you're using touching this shower pan. If you do that, water can wick up and eventually cause it to mold. You don't want to put your shower pan touching your backer board. Okay, so just remember that. That gap is intentional right there. A product called Quick Pitch. Look that up. If you're worried about not getting your slope perfect, that's what these black lines are. It ensures that you get the exact pitch all the way around your shower. Okay, so I got a nice little pitch going here. You could almost see it in the camera. Shower pan liner. Build you up some support behind here, about 6 to 8 inches. You could do 6 inches, that's fine. And don't put any screws below that point. Three-piece drain flange was installed here. It's a special drain that you must purchase at your Home Depot or your local hardware store in order to use it for a shower pan. There's different kinds for the plastic. I got 1/2 inch backer board here. This stuff can be really, really difficult to cut. In fact, there's no videos on YouTube showing how to do it. That's how crazy this is. But I found that using a wet saw over the years works pretty well. A circular saw with a cement cutting blade on it. Also, you can toss water on it to cool it down because it'll turn red. Shower pan liner. If you're a first timer, do-it-yourselfer, make sure you get a shower pan liner or you're gonna have major problems. Just because you put cement in here does not mean it's not gonna leak. If you don't use a shower pan liner, you're gonna leak. If you don't use Red Guard, you're gonna leak probably in 3 to 4 years. So use Red Guard, use the shower pan liner, watch a lot of videos. I made many videos on building this up on my channel. There's 100 videos over YouTube. Just watch them. Watch 3 or 4 different guys doing these videos who put these together. That way you can ensure that you choose the best tips and tricks for installing this. I've actually watched a few videos of guys on YouTube who act like they're professionals and will cause you major amounts of damage and tell you how to do it the wrong way. There was one guy who took Red Guard and started painting it onto his shower pan liner, which is already a preventative membrane. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that, but I just thought that was silly. And the guy had like 1 million views, but half of them were pretty bad. They had thumbs down. Quick little idea, if you guys are going to be restoring an entire shower like I am, I've installed electrical lines into a niche in the wall, and it activates the LED lights, which I bought outdoor LED lights, and the wires go through the wall, up and around, and I'm gonna put another niche in there for the shower. That's gonna look pretty cool. So that's a pretty good idea for you guys to do something like that. Also, if you're gonna be changing out your entire shower like I am, you're probably gonna have to buy a new faucet. And installing a faucet can be pretty tricky, and all the cartridges will end up being different. So it's something you guys are gonna have to take into consideration when you match up your brushed nickel shower or whatever color you may be using stainless steel. If you're building a shower, remember to put support beams exactly where your glass is gonna meet up. I have a corner over here. Most showers don't have the corner, and they're built up between 2 pieces of drywall. A lot easier to assemble a shower like that because you don't have to check for leveling. Also, when you are building this, make sure you level check everything. You must level check your shower floor or you're gonna run into major problems. Okay, another support beam. You see what I got going here? That's where my glass door is gonna fall into place. I actually had to extend my wall out in order to account for the 48-inch shower that I came out with instead of the 34 by 34 that it was. The floor is not leveled when you go to install your shower and your shower curb and all that stuff. There is a product out there called like TEC self-leveling floor. There's lots of them on the market, and they will level your floor where you need to be. Could be very tricky. You might have to watch some videos. Building a niche in the wall. Don't forget that the shelf that's on this area needs to be slanted just a little bit of a slope, so the water hits it, it will drain down. So there is a procedure that people do when they build a shower pan, and it's called a pre-slope. Look that up. A lot of professionals don't do it. I actually did it just so people could see how it's done. And what pre-slope means, they also make pre-pitch sticks, just like you see this pattern of sticks, and you build up with like on your cement board or your OSB, you would put the pre-pitch sticks in. Before that, you would put lathe board in. It's almost like rebar, but much smaller. And then you make a pitch, a slope. What I mean by pitch is a slighter slope going into the drain, and then you build it up and put the shower pan over it, and then you build another slope. But most professionals don't do it. If you're pretty good at doing what you're doing, you probably don't need it. If you're a first timer, it would give you a little bit of experience and hands-on onto what you're up against when you get to this section. So sometimes I would recommend it. Doesn't cost much, just a little bit more time. Even if you bought the pre-pitch sticks, they're only about 30 bucks, and you got about 20 bucks in cement. Then you got your time. So I hope this video helped you out on one tip or another, and showing you what you're up against on a first-time project for you do-it-yourselfers. So thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Hope this video helped you out.